8 from the problem set 1. The question is, write the converse of each of the following statements. Here we have given the 4 statements and we have to write the converse of each statements, and it is too easy question because in each and every statement if and then are available. Here given each and every statement is conditional statement, so we can easily write the converse. Just we have to change the antecedent and consequent. The part after if, that we have to write after then, and the part after then, that we have to write after the if. That is, we have to interchange the antecedent and consequent. We know that the statement followed by if is antecedent and the statement followed by then is consequent, and if we interchange the antecedent and consequent, then it is called as converse. And since each and every statement is conditional statement, just we have to interchange antecedent and consequent. But if suppose the given statement is not the conditional statement, then first of all we have to convert it into the if then form, and then we have to write the converse. We already studied the question like this, that we write the converses where the statements given are not the conditional statements. We have to first write that statement into the simple statement into the conditional form, and then we have to write the converse. But here it is too easy. Every statement is in if then form, and we have to write the converse of it. So here we write if. Now we have to write the part which is after then. If a figure is triangle, if a figure is triangle, if a figure is triangle, then if a figure is triangle, then. Now we have to write the part after if. The sum of the measure of angles in the figure is 180 degree. Then the sum of the measure of, then the sum of the measure of, then the sum of the measure of angles in the figure is 180 degree of angles in triangle. Since the figure is triangle, in place of figure we write triangle. Angles in triangle is 180 degrees. So this is the converse of the given statement. If a figure is triangle, then the sum of the measure of angles in triangle is 180 degree. Now we have second statement. If the sum of the measure of two angles is 90 degree, then they are complement of each other. Now here we write if. Now after if, what we have to write? The part which is after then. Here we have to write consequent of the conditional statement. They are complement of each other. So how we can write? We cannot write as it is. We can't write that part as it is. If they are complement of each other, that is meaningless. If they are, they is used for whom? That is the question arises there. So we cannot write as it is. We have to write this part only there, but we cannot write as it is there. So how we can write? If the two angles are complement of each other, if the two angles are complement of each other, then the sum of the measures of the two angles is 90 degree. If two angles, they is used for two angles. Here this word they is used for the two different angles. So here we can write if two angles are complement of each other. If two angles are complement of each other, then now we have to write the part after if. The sum of the measures of two angles, then the sum of measures of two angles, sum of measures of two angles is 90 degree. So this is the Second statement to which we write the converse. Now we have the third example, and again the question is same. We have to write the converse of the given statement. The statement is, if the corresponding angles formed by the transversal of two lines are congruent, then the two lines are parallel. So here we write, if two lines are parallel, if two lines are parallel, if two lines are parallel and a transversal is intersecting them. If two lines are parallel, then we can directly write, no need to describe the transversal here, we will write that part after. Then here, if two lines are parallel, then the corresponding angles, formed by the transversal, of two lines are congruent, of two parallel lines are congruent, of two lines. We already say that the lines are parallel, or here also we can describe, then the corresponding angles formed by the transversal of two parallel lines are congruent. Two parallel lines are congruent. So this is the answer of the third statement, and now we have last statement, that is statement number 4 from the question number 8, and again we have to write the converse of this fourth statement. Here the statement is, if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So here we can write, if a number is divisible by 3, if the number is divisible by 3, if the number is divisible by 3, then the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3. Then the sum of digits of a number is divisible by 3. Is divisible by 3. So this is all about the question number 8. Now we will take the next question, that is question number 9. Example number 9 from the problem set 1. The question is, write the antecedent, that is given part, and the consequent, that is part, to be proved in the following statements. We have given the statements and we have to write the antecedent and consequent separately for each statement. Antecedent is, that is given information, given part, and consequent is nothing but that is part to be proved. So we will write the antecedent for the first statement is antecedent, or you can represent it as the given part also. Now what is the antecedent? Antecedent is nothing but that is the statement followed by if. So here the statement followed by if is, all the sides of triangle are congruent. So you have to write that much part only. All the sides of triangle, are congruent. That is the given information, that is antecedent. Now we have to write the consequent also. So here we write consequent. Now consequent is what? That is the statement followed by then. After then what is written there? Its all angles are congruent. Here it is used for triangle. So all the angles of triangle are congruent. All the angles of triangle are congruent. Do not write it as its all angles are congruent. It is used for triangle. So we write all the angles of triangle are congruent. That is the consequent, that is the part which we have to prove. So this is all about the first example. Now we have second statement and the question is same. We have to write the antecedent and the consequent, but here the big problem is the given statement is not the conditional statement. Since first of all we have to write the conditional statement and then we will write the antecedent and consequent. Here we are unable to write the antecedent and consequent since the given statement is not in the if then form. So first of all we will write that statement in if then form and then we will write the antecedent and consequent. Here the diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. While writing the conditional statement I already told you we have to give the importance to the diagram. Here the diagram is parallelogram. If a quadrilateral is parallelogram, then the diagonals bisect each other. That is the conditional form of the given statement. This is simple statement. And the conditional statement is if a quadrilateral is parallelogram, then diagonals bisect each other. Then the diagonals bisect each other. Then the diagonals bisect each other. Now we can easily write the antecedent and consequent. That is the main question. We have to write the antecedent and consequent, but it is simple statement. We convert it into the if then form and now we have to write the antecedent and consequent. So first we will write the antecedent. We have to write first antecedent. Antecedent is nothing but that is the statement followed by if a quadrilateral is parallelogram. A quadrilateral is parallelogram. That is the given information, or we can say it as antecedent. Now we have to write the consequent. And consequent is nothing but that is the statement followed by then the diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. That is the part which we have to prove. So this is all about the question number 9. Now we will take the next question, that is question number 10, which is last question from this problem set and from this lesson, basic concepts in geometry. Question number 10 from the problem set 1. The question is, draw a label figure showing the information in each of the following statements and write the antecedent and consequent. Now here we have given a statement. First of all we have to draw a label figure and then we have to write the antecedent and consequent. Now here we have the first statement, that is two equilateral triangles are similar. Two equilateral triangles are similar. But this statement is not the conditional statement, that is simple statement. This is the simple statement. First of all we have to convert it into the conditional statement, that is into the if then form, and then we have to draw a diagram and then we have to write the antecedent and consequent. So first of all we will convert it into the if then form. Now how we have to convert it into the if then form conditional statement? If two triangles are equilateral, then they are similar to each other. If two triangles are equilateral, then they are similar to each other. We cannot write like that. If two triangles are similar to each other, then they are equilateral triangles. That should be false statement, or that should be incorrect statement. So here, while writing the given statement into the if-then form, that is very necessary. It is very important to write the given statement in the if-then form, since we have to write the antecedent and consequent. So we will write that statement into the if-then form. If two triangles are equilateral, if two triangles are equilateral, if two triangles are equilateral, then they are similar to each other. Then they are similar to each other. This is the conditional statement. Now, draw a labeled figure. We have to draw the two equilateral triangles. This is the first equilateral triangle. We will represent it as triangle A, B, C. And this is the second equilateral triangle. We will represent it as triangle P, Q, R. Equilateral triangle. All the sides are having equal measures. All the three sides, AB is equal to BC is equal to AC, here PQ is equal to QR is equal to PR. So here draw a labeled figure showing the information which is given into the statement. We draw a figure. Two triangles are equilateral triangle. Then they are similar to each other. Here we draw the diagram. We draw two equilateral triangles. And now we have to write the antecedent and consequent. So first of all we will write the antecedent. What is antecedent according to the statement? According to statement, the antecedent is the path followed by if two triangles are equilateral triangle. Triangle ABC and triangle PQR are equilateral triangles. That is given information, that is antecedent. The triangles are equilateral triangle. Here we can write triangle ABC and triangle PQR are equilateral triangles. Are equilateral triangles. That is the given information. Now we have to write the consequent. We have to write the consequent. Consequent is nothing but that is the statement followed by they, and it is they are similar to each other. Both these triangles are similar to each other. So here we can write triangle ABC, similar triangle PQR. So this is all about the first example from this question number 10. Now we will take the second example. The second statement we have given, that is if angles in linear pair are congruent, then each of them is right angle. Here the given statement is already in if-then form. So directly we will draw a labeled diagram and then we will write the antecedent and consequent. Here without plotting diagram also we are able to write the antecedent and consequent, but first of all we have to draw a labeled figure showing the information given in the statement, and then we have to write the antecedent and consequent. So here we have to write, we have to draw a figure of angles in linear pair which are congruent with each other. Here these are the angles in linear pair, and if the angles in linear pair are congruent with each other, then they are right angles. So here we give the names. It's line AB and the angles formed. Point C, and here we take the point D. Here we draw a labeled diagram or labeled figure in which we have angles in linear pair which are congruent. Here angles in linear pair, if there is a common side between the two angles and their interiors are different, then those two angles are said to be angles in linear pair. So here on a line we have two angles which are forming the linear pair and they are congruent. If they are congruent, then each of them is right angle. So here we put these signs of right angles. That is the part which we have to prove. Actually, we cannot put the signs there because that is the part which we have to prove. Since we are unable to use these signs here, we will erase these signs because that is the part which we have to prove. But name is necessary here. Now here we have to write the antecedent. We draw the diagram, label, figure we draw. Now we have to write the antecedent and consequence. So here we have to write antecedent. We write first. Antecedent. Angles in linear pair are congruent. Angles in linear pair are congruent. So here we can make the same signs as they are congruent with each other. Angles in linear pair are congruent. That is angle ACD congruent angle BCD. That is given information. Angle ACD congruent angle BCD. That is the given information. That is antecedent. Angles in linear pair are congruent. Angle ACD congruent angle BCD. Now we have to write the consequent. We have to write the consequent, that is part to be proved. What we have to prove? Then each of them is right angle. Each of them, that is angle ACD is equal to 90 degree and angle BCD is equal to 90 degree. That we have to prove. Then each of them is 90 degree. So we have to prove that angle ACD is equal to 90 degree and angle BCD is equal to 90 degree. That we have to prove. This is the part to be proved, or we can say it as consequence. So this is all about the second example. Now we will take the third example from this question number 10. Third and last statement, last example from the question number 10. The question is, draw the labeled diagram showing the information in each of the following statement and write the antecedent and consequent. Here, if the altitudes drawn on the two sides of a triangle, means we have to draw a triangle. We have to draw a triangle, and also we have to draw the two altitudes on the two sides of the triangle. Here on this side the altitude is drawn, on this side the altitude is drawn. We have to draw a triangle and we have to also draw the altitudes on the two sides of a triangle. If the altitudes drawn on the two sides of triangle are congruent, these altitudes are congruent. This altitude and this altitude, both the altitudes are congruent. They are having equal measurement. Then those two sides are congruent. Their sides are also congruent. Here we will represent this triangle as triangle PQR. We will represent this point as M and this point as M. So here triangle is PQR. From the point Q on the opposite side, the altitude Qn is drawn. Then from the point R on the side PQ, Rm is the altitude is drawn. It is given that altitudes drawn on the two sides of triangle are congruent. That is Qn is equal to Rm. That is given information. Altitudes are congruent. That is given information. Statement followed by if the altitudes are drawn on the two sides of triangle are congruent, then this is what we have to prove. Those two sides are congruent. Then we have to prove that side PQ and side PR are congruent with each other. That we have to prove. So here, first we will write the antecedent. We draw the diagram. In the diagram we draw a triangle. And we also draw the two altitudes on the two sides of that triangle. Now these altitudes are congruent. That is the antecedent given information. So what is the given information is here? Rm is perpendicular to PQ. Rm is perpendicular to PQ and Qn is perpendicular to PR. Qn is perpendicular to PR, and it is also given that these altitudes Rm and Qn are congruent. So here we can write sig Rm congruent sec qn, that is given information. That is also given information. These are the altitudes, means Rm is perpendicular to PQ, Qn is perpendicular to PR, and they are congruent. The altitudes are congruent, that is Rm congruent Qn. This is the given information, antecedent, and now we have to write the consequent. So here we will write the consequent. Consequent is nothing but that is the statement followed by then. Then those two sides are congruent. On which sides the altitudes drawn? On side PQ, on side PR, the altitudes are drawn. Since we have to know that PQ congruent, PR side PQ congruent side PR, that is what we have to do, that is consequent. So this is all about the question number 10, and here we successfully complete the problem set and also the first lesson from geometry, that is basic concepts in geometry. Now next lesson we will study into the next video lecture. Thank you.